If there is one principle I could emphasize that is the most important principle underlying the prevention of violence, it would be equality. The single most significant factor that affects the rate of violence is the degree of equality versus the degree of inequality in that society. So what we're looking at is a sort of general social dysfunction. It's not just one or two things that go wrong as inequality increases, it seems to be everything, whether we are talking about crime or health or mental illness or whatever. One of the really disturbing findings out there in public health is never ever make the mistake of being poor or being born poor. Your health pays for it in endless sorts of ways, something known as the health socioeconomic gradient. As you move down from the highest strata in society, in terms of socioeconomic status, every step down, health gets worse for umpteen different diseases, life expectancy gets worse, infant mortality rate, everything you could look at. So a huge issue has been, why is it that this gradient exists? A totally simple, obvious answer, which is, if you're chronically sick, you're not going to be very productive, so health causes drive socioeconomic differences. Not that in the slightest. On the very simple level, you could look at the socioeconomic status of a 10-year-old, and that's going to predict something about their health decades later. So that's the direction of causality. Next one. Oh, it's perfectly obvious. Poor people can't afford to go to the doctor. It's healthcare access. It's got nothing to do with that, because you see these same gradients in countries with universal healthcare and socialized medicine. Okay, next simple explanation. Oh, on the average, the poorer you are, the more likely you are to smoke, to drink, and all sorts of lifestyle risk factors. Yeah, those contribute, but careful studies have shown that it explains maybe about a third of the variability. So what's left? What's left is having a ton to do with the stress of poverty. So the poorer you are, starting off being the person who is $1 of income behind Bill Gates, the poorer you are in this country on average, the worse your health is. This tells us something really important. The health connection with poverty, it's not about being poor, it's about feeling poor.